Show the Turtle here, and here is Cardboard Projections, episode 2. Today we're going to talk about Wyatt Langford. I just want to go ahead and say thank you to everybody who reached out, whether that was on YouTube or Turtle Cards 13 on Instagram. You guys gave me a lot of positive feedback on the last episode. And if you have any negative feedback, feel free to message me on Instagram or let me know in the comment section below. Uh, Something that's negative that I want to improve on is the upload schedule. I apologize, life's been a little crazy, but hopefully we can get 2 videos up a week, and that's going to be the game plan here going forward. So with that being said, let's get into Wyatt Langford. Disclaimer here: any information I provide you in this video is just my opinion. This is not buy, sell, trade, hold advice in any matter. This is information I have found on different websites for you to digest how you want to, and I will digest it and tell you what I think of it. Again, just my opinion. This is not financial advice. And with that being said, let's talk about Wyatt Langford. All right, so taking a look here at some of the statistics here versus righties last year, actually got a little bit unlucky with the batting average versus BABIP, but definitely encouraging to see that 2 to or sorry, 1 to 2 walk to strikeout ratio over the course of the entire season. Hit 253 last year, 325 on base with a 415 slugging, and, you know, I know this says a 740 OPS here and a 111 OPS plus. I think that this could drastically improve. Um, I really like these home run numbers, 16 home runs to 19 stolen bases. Uh, could be a 30-30 guy this year, and what would that do to his cards? I can only imagine. First versus second half is definitely something to look at here. The 11 home runs in the second half makes me think that something is swing changed. He started hitting for power, which is a huge sign, uh, especially for his game. I don't know what happened, but slugging 450 in the second half, I mean, that's very impressive to see that jump, especially as a rookie last year. And then if you look down here at some Vaunt statistics, actually got the ball in the air, elevated it more than the average MLB player, pulled it slightly more, but these fly ball percentage and they almost been, you know, several points higher than the league average. That really excites me. It shows that he can elevate the ball and hit for a little bit of power, and that is, typically a good recipe for hitting home runs. If we look down here, every pitch besides a fastball and slider last year, he was league average or slightly above league average in the four seam and slider. He definitely did struggle with, but I think if he can improve upon that, his game could be taken to the next level. Some more stats here. Again, I have his monthly splits up here, and if we look at September and June, we can see two great months out of Langford, especially this September month. 8 home runs in the month and 7 stolen bases. That is an outstanding month, and that is MVP level numbers. Almost one dotted in the month of September and October, and that is unreal for a rookie to do. I mean that is amazing to see, especially after he had some struggles in April, May, July, August. 2 months adjust here in June, 2 months adjust here in September, and that makes me very hopeful for this upcoming season for him. Last season, I want to point out his chase rate was below league average. Again, impressive for a young player, but he was not swinging very much. Uh, I know Juan Soto doesn't swing very much either. Not saying White Langford is Juan Soto, but just thought I'd point that out as well. Also down here, courtesy of Baseball Savant. He was higher in barrel percentage than the league average last year, and with that, he's actually harder in hard hit percentage as well, considerably here over in hard hit percentage, uh, slightly below K percentage and slightly above walk rate. So just some interesting numbers. But that's really encouraging, especially for Langford who struggled. These advanced stats look incredible. So pull hitting pop, and as we can see, most of his home runs here off the spray chart are going out to left field. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. If you look before, he wasn't necessarily pulling the ball more or substantially more. It seems like his power is to left field, especially with the speed. I don't know. That is interesting. I'd like to see where this ends up at the end of 2025. Look down here, sprint speed, one of the fastest guys in the league with the power, and This bat speed. I love this new bat speed metric. I love looking at it just to see what guys like how is bat speed correlating to success in the league. And it seems like most guys that have a high bat speed do have great success. So here being the 84th percentile is definitely encouraging, and 86th percentile in chase rate. We love to see that. So as I mentioned before, what's exciting is his monthly splits, and then down here we can talk about his hard hit percentage, his fly ball percentage, and above average walk rate. With that all being said, I've already went over that. I found some interesting statistics here on MLB Network recently. I wanted to share them. So through his first 34 games, he hit 222, one home run, and was 1 for 2 on steals. In his last 100 games, he had 263, 15 home runs, and was 18 for 20 on steals. That just shows improvement again. He came up, struggled, and then found a way to get out of that. And apparently, the mocked lineup here for 2025, they're going to have Langford batting third in that lineup. That's gonna be behind Semien and Seager. I mean, he's going to get a lot of opportunity to drive guys in this year, and I think I think we're really primed here for a breakout campaign from Wyatt Langford. One comparison of his prices here is we took his first Bowman Auto, all in PSA 10s, by the way. I'll mention that. His first Bowman Auto, his Topps Chrome base card, his Topps Chrome base autograph, his Topps Chrome refractor autograph, and his Topps Chrome 88 rookies. That's an insert some people like, very short printed, and it is flagship gold 2024. And I'm very surprised to see how close the first Bowman auto and the refractor auto are. I really think this would pull away. And we're gonna take a look at this one more time here, but I did include the base top scrum down here in case anybody was interested. $30 for I think one of the best rookies in the league. I or best second year guys in the league. I think that's yeah, that's surprising. It's that low. Um, we've looked at some of those other players, and I want to mention here that Dominguez and James Wood, yes, they're both 22, but Cruz and Langford are 23. I thought they're very well comparable, and didn't really justify this huge price gap, especially with Dominguez. And I understand he's Yankees. I understand he's been a hype prospect, but this card, I mean, if you go back and you look at the chart, I mean, this card is crazy money, like a year, 2 years ago, especially during the pandemic. I mean, it has just fallen. But still $650 for Jason Dominguez. And then you go to James Wood at $450, and Dylan Cruz at 417, and then, you know, $37 below that, we have Wyatt Langford at 380. And this is consistently selling around 370 to 400. And, I think, I mean, it's 2023 Bowman, guys. I mean, these guys just got drafted, and both Dylan Cruz and Wyatt Langford are playing at the big league level last year, and people are essentially sleeping on them. And I understand James Wood and Dominguez have an extra year, but I mean, I don't think it warrants this much of a price gap. Um, I do think Wyatt Langford being the lowest guy on this list is something you should take a look at and notice that there is value there. Um, so what needs to happen this year with Langford for his cars to improve? Well, as I mentioned earlier, we want to see consistency. If we can see him put up 20, 30 home runs this year with 20, 30 stolen bases and that chase rate be down, I think we're looking at somebody who could, get MVP votes, especially in the American League. Um, not saying he's going to win the MVP, but I think he could get a top 10 MVP finish this year if he has the type of season that a lot of us think that he's going to have based off of these numbers, especially the end of last year, and show those last 100 game production over the full season. Wyatt Langford, he's a very promising young player, and I don't want just to throw that out there and be like invest in this guy, but I really really do like his game, and I think that he could take the next step this year. So if you guessed it, in my opinion, I would be buying Wyatt Langford, and to be transparent, I have bought some of his cards. It surprised me with how cheap they are going for. I mean, relatively to these other top prospects or young players, first, second year in the league. Wyatt Langford seems like a bargain at the price that he's commanding. So thank you guys for tuning in. Uh, let me know if you want to see next week. Leave a comment down below, and I'll work on that. But other than that, let me know what you guys think. Would you buy Wyatt Langford? Would you not buy Wyatt Langford? Would you just wait and see what pans out? Thank you guys for watching, and have a great night.